Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video, my friends, here on Phantom of Haunted Hill. Welcome to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're too kind. Speaking of circuses, let's today talk about something other than a horror film. Of course, we like to talk about other things, exploitation, uh, strange documentaries like Squirm Fest, just weird, strange, cool stuff. Some of it cool, some of it strange, like Squirm Fest. Let's talk about the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow. I remember my wife and I had gotten this videotape. Matter of fact, it was from Ken Kish from Cinema Wasteland. It used to be called Video Wasteland. It was a video thing he ran out of his house, which was close to my house at the time. But anyway, I digress. So we get the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow. It wasn't very long, a little more than a half an hour. And it was released in 1993. I've just found this out because back then I didn't pay attention to those things. But American Recordings, and I guess Rick Rubin had something to do with that. Interesting. Makes that guy even more interesting besides him producing Slayer's Rain in Blood, huh? So yeah, a lot of this I'm going to show some footage, but I'm not going to show a lot of footage because I don't know. We got our rules here on YouTube. I got to be a good boy. I'm a good boy. Really, I am. I'm a good lad. If I was in England, I'd be a good lad. Anyway, the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow was formed in Seattle in the early 90s. They performed during the 1992 Lollapalooza Festival. And then they did 7 world tours with Nine Inch Nails, Korn, Godsmack, and one good musician, Alice Cooper. Then they got arrested in Texas for a show that had women sumo wrestlers. I'd love to see that. Mexican transvestite wrestling. I can do without that. And chainsaw football. What is that? Do you put the chainsaw on your foot? And I don't understand, but I sure would like to have seen that show. So they spent some time in jail. I guess it took 4 years or so for it to get cleared up. Let's see. So Jim Rose, he's been active ever since. I mean, he was in this. I don't know how many of the Geico commercials, the insurance. He's not in every commercial dressed up like that ape guy, but he has been in at least one of those commercials. What else he been up to? He's been in some TV shows. He starred in the X-Files. He was featured on The Simpsons. He's done some voice acting, the film roles, commercials, and he speaks as a consultant for PR firms. He once did some work for Microsoft. Jim Rose, the king of the freaks. Yes, indeed. So, and as we go through this and we talk about each performer, I did some research. I can't find much of anything, but the performers' real names is basically all I can find on the internet. So I can't make this video even more informative. I've tried. So anyway, Jim Rose. So I just told you a little bit about him. Let's listen to something. Let's listen to him tell us about himself.
Hi, my name is Jim Rose, and it was my art vision to assemble the greatest collection of odd humans ever to perform on one stage. My odyssey of the bizarre started in Europe 11 years ago, studying contortion and escape. 11 years later, my act has expanded to include stapling money to my face, the human dartboard, the bed of nails with 3 people standing on top of me, eating razor blades, the human blockhead with spikes and a hammer, putting my face in broken glass, letting members of the audience stomp on the back of my head, and tumbling dry ice in my mouth so quickly that it doesn't stick to my tongue, enabling me to blow smoke rings from nose and mouth. I believe people are tired of things that are slick, contrived, choreographed, manipulated, and clean. It's time for some entertainment that is live, real, raw, and dangerous.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Rose!
Yeah, so there you go. And he's done some weird things himself. Like near the end of the video, he gets his face smashed in to broken glass with people stepping on his head. And of course, this fantastic scene of the old nail through the nose routine.
Hammer! Nail!
And after all this hoopla, this introductions, we get to the amazing Mr. Lifto. Mr. Lifto. He lifts things on this video with his ears, his tongue, his nipples, and I swear I remember, if I remember correctly, his male part. And the amazing Mr. Lifto, his real name is Joe Herman. So let's watch him. Let's see how strong his ears are here.
Fashion statement. The next time we come to Seattle, we expect all the men and women to be wearing iron earrings. Lift off. Lift off. Lift. Beautiful lift off. Lift off. Lift off. Iron earrings.
That ain't nothing, man. I do that every Tuesday. Anyway, next up is the Torture King, whose real name is Tim Crindland. In this, he's one of those that likes to get severed. He sticks pins in his arm, sticks them through his face, up his eyelids there. The guy's a maniac. Let's see a little bit of what we can get away with here.
You're too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you, Torture King. I can watch you 10,000 times and never tire. And now, ladies and gentlemen, now watch them drop like flies. It's time for Mean Skewer through the fucking face!
And now for the most interesting one of all, the Enigma, whose real name is Paul Lawrence. And he's been around. I've seen him on I saw him on some other TV show one time, a long time ago. But this guy, his entire body is tattooed like a puzzle. His entire body is literally tattooed. He looks like a puzzle. And he eats worms and crickets. And he does some sword swallowing. Let's check just a little bit of this out. Kind of reminded me of the Wizard of Gore. And I tried to get some footage from the Wizard of Gore to put into this. but I couldn't get any good direct footage that showed it was a sword going in, so don't want to look like it's just stabbing her in the mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Enigma.
And a forced smile with a bend over. Beautiful enigma.
Next up, I hear on the big show, Matt the Tube Crowley. This is the most disgusting portion of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Starts off where he's got this little condom and he shoves it up his nose and pulls it out of his mouth. And then he shoves it up his mouth and pulls it out of his nose. Then he puts it on his head over his nose and he's breathing, blowing up the condom until it pops. And that's fine, okay? That's fine. But then we get to the 7 feet, the 7 feet of hose that goes through his nose and into his stomach. As if that's not horrifying enough, he takes a big cup, sticks it on the thing there at the other end of the hose, and puts this shifter thing on. Well, that goes on after he fills it up with a whole 40 ounce of beer, some ketchup, some chocolate, and some Pepto-Bismol. Shakes it up, sticks that thing on there. So Jim Rose comes by and Jim Rose just pushes it down. And of course, this is all going through the hose, up his nose, into his stomach. Well, after it's emptied, he reverses it. It goes from his stomach back out his stomach, through the hose, out his nose, through the hose into the cup. And then Jim calls on some people to come on up and drink the nectar. Drink what he called, what did he call it? What did he call it? Bile beer. Imagine you're sitting there at the circus, you got your thing with drinks and stuff, cigarettes, cigarettes, hot chocolate, cold beer, bile beer. And these guys drink it. Let's check some of this out.
2, 2. All right, Seattle, it's Miller time! This man loves to get drunk, but he hates the taste of beer. It's also known as the Frat Boy Challenge. Hey, frats coming out with the freaks a little bit. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden was the first guy to have the balls to drink this. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam was next. Al Jurgensen from Ministry. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Mickey from Lush. Ketchup! Chocolate! Uh-oh, he's looking queasy. It must be a Maalox moment. like shit after you wish it was. There you go, the freaks that drink together, why they stay together. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, bile beer cheer.
Incredible, huh? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Did that guy throw it up? And then the next question is, did his wife drink it afterward? You never know how this continued. Did that liquid ever land somewhere? Does it keep going from person to person all these years? Then we're introduced to Bebe, 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 the circus queen, who I guess was Jim Rose's girlfriend at the time. And Lifto, they both get vacuum sealed together, and I would love to have shown that, but that might be too much for YouTube. But yeah, it's pretty horrifying. And that's that's the shortest segment. And then of course Jim gets his face smashed into some broken glass. And that, my friends, is the end of the show. Bravo, bravo. I don't have it anymore in my collection. Unfortunately, we had gotten it obviously when it was very first ever released, me and my wife. So, a lot of that stuff has not lasted all these decades. So, but I can always get it again. I know Ken. And I could swear that he lifted those heavy weights with his private parts. And I could swear, and unless I'm just thinking of something else. I don't know, but it's been a long time since I saw that. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you get a chance, check it out. It's not horrific. It's not all that horrifically disgusting and vile. It's, if anything, it's interesting, and it's, you know, who knows? Maybe Jim didn't really put that nail in his nose. Maybe it's one of those things that make you, that, you hit the button on it every time the hammer hits it, it shrinks up so that it looks like it's in his nose. You never know. But I can tell you one thing, bile beer is real. All right, folks, give this video a like. Hey, man, let's get some subscribers going on this channel. We're coming up in August. We're going to be here at the Phantom for 4 years. We need some subscribers. I got a whole bunch of videos I'm working on. Where is my list here? Look, I got a whole list right there. Videos that I'm going to be working on. So this is going to be some great stuff coming up here on the Phantom of Haunted Hill before I get cursed again with doctor's appointments and tests left and right. I'm free for a while. So. All right, my friends. Well, next time the darkness opens its eyes, go like this. Say, take that, you knucklehead. All right, folks. Thanks again. We'll see you next time here on Phantom of Haunted Hill.